tried to film a while ago, but my hair was a mess and I was like, yeah, I didn't like, no. So I had to at least do something with my hair real quick before going any further. But anyway, I'm watching some YouTube right now, as you can see. But for now, well, not at the moment, but I was. But I wanted to take a moment to talk. So, yesterday, my mom texted me, and she's like, call me when you get this. We need to talk. So I was like, okay. So I call her back, and then she's like, hey, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back later. Okay, she's real, okay, either I tend to call her when she's busy, or like, it's not like I know that she's doing something, but I'm like, well, long story short, while I waited, I had an anxiety attack that lasted probably about 20 minutes because my mind was racing, and this is what I want to talk about today. So, if you go back a few videos, I talked about my mom moving to Washington State. So, anyway, she's moving a lot sooner than I had thought. And while my mind was racing, while I waited for my mom to call me back, I started to panic because I was thinking either my mom was gonna force me to move with her or try and talk me into it. But I was mainly concerned about her forcing me or trying to talk me into it. And like I said, I don't want to. I don't want to go. And I was all worried that my mom was going to either force me to go. I was all worried that I was probably going to wind up going with her, whether if I wanted to or not. And my mind was racing, my body was trembling, and my heart was just pounding out of my chest. My blood pressure was probably soaring at this point. Anyway, I don't like things being sprung up on me. Like, I have plans for myself this week. I have my Special Olympics. Can't really talk. I have my Special Olympics tournament coming up this week, and I've been working. It took me about, well, it's still taking, I still have one last week before the actual tournament, but, and I was afraid if I moved to Washington, I wouldn't be able to go after working so hard, working my hardest for the moment. But that's not the point. I don't want to go. I flat out, downright don't want to go. I want to stay here. I mean, it got to the point where I had to get, like, I need to talk to someone about this. I'm having an anxiety attack. I need something to calm my nerves. So after talking, she was like, Kira, you're not going anywhere, and if I have to stand up, and I will stand up, and I will fight for you. You are not going anywhere. So a few minutes later, my mom calls me back, and I tell her, I am staying in Texas, and I just want you to know. And she told me that she would love for me to go with her, but right now, it's not a good idea because she's going to stay with her friend until she finds her own place, which honestly, I think it's kind of generous of her friend to let my mom stay with her, until she finds an actual place, because I just want to say she got a promotion and things couldn't happen at a better time for her. So she was just asking me if I can go over there tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is Tuesday. Today's Monday. Well, I think we're gonna go have lunch and we're gonna watch Sing 2, which I've seen that movie before and it's really cute, and I think it would be something to to ease our minds off of Washington and moving. And like, in the past, I've moved I moved a lot growing up, and it's affected me mentally. Like, I was a child and I could not make those decisions on my own. But now that I'm older, my decision when it comes to that, moving to a state is a pretty big decision. And I want to have time to think about it before doing it. Will I consider moving to Washington in the future? Maybe. That's a big maybe. For right now, not anytime soon. But I'm talking about maybe 10 years from now. Which, yeah. The point is, I'm happy and I don't want to change anything. And I am freaking scared to move to Washington. I'm too scared to at this point. And when I moved to California with my dad, I was angry at him for years, and it turned from anger to fear. And I was thinking about that. My mom better not do this to me, and I don't want to. I mean, tears were running down my face like crazy yesterday. So I'm like, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. So here I am. But now that I know, I don't have to. But regardless, my butt is staying here in this house. So I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but I'm not going anywhere. And if I have to get my foster mom involved, that's what I'm going to do. And she told me yesterday that if she has to go down and get guardianship over me, that's what she was going to do. Honestly, okay, I am my own guardian, and I don't want anybody to be my guardian, because I like having the freedom of making my own decisions and not having to get permission to do things. Like, for example, getting a tattoo. It's my body, my choice. And she explained to me, if that's what she had to do, I would still be making my own decisions and still be able to sign my papers. Nothing really would change. And I'm staying here. But if that's what she had to do, but if it came down to it, I would much rather do that than have to be forced to do something I really don't want to do. Like, I'm near 37 years old, and I can make my own decisions if I want to. And sometimes I feel that my mom doesn't see that. Like, I love my mom to death, but I am not her baby girl anymore. I'm not a baby anymore, and I want to make my decisions on my own. Now, if my mom was my guardian, that would be a whole other ballgame, but that's not the case. And that's another reason why I want to be my own guardian, so I can live where I want, do the things I want, and be happy. But moving to another state might be different now that I'm older, but it doesn't mean I want to. Like, it's not like I go to school, so I don't have to worry about changing schools or anything like that. But if that was the case, I would ask my mom if I could stay and finish school until it was out for the summer and then make that decision. Moving to another state is probably a big decision, and I don't feel right about it. I am not at peace with it. And if like I said before, if you're not at peace with your decision, yeah. So I don't want that to be. I want to make my own decisions and have the freedom of living where I want to. Now, 10 years ago, I was not happy. And I'm not going to mention names. Let's call her Anna. I had this girl that I was living with. She was not all the way there. She was like, physically she's 20-something years old, but mentally she's probably 2 or 3 maybe. And when she, I didn't understand, but looking back on it now, she didn't choose to be that way. It's not her fault, it's not anyone's fault, it's just the way that she was. And I had staff stealing my property just to give her what she needed. There was times where I caught her wearing my clothes, and I would be highly upset about it. And I was not okay with it. And they would take my towels for her showers, which again was not okay. And I felt like she was getting more than I was. And if I was still in that situation, would I move to Washington to be happy? If I had to move to Washington, if I was still living with her now, if I had to move to Washington to be happy and not feel like somebody else was getting more than me, then yeah, I would consider it. So, anyway, but I'm not living in that situation anymore. But if I hadn't have made any changes back then, I probably wouldn't be here now, to be honest with you. So I'm pretty much glad that I didn't make a decision to move. But if I was still living with her and unhappy, then yes, I would be moving to Washington. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And I know this is just a talk video, but I felt like I had to, I'm making this video to help someone else that's going through a similar situation than me. And I will go to Washington and visit my mom, but I'm going to wait until she gets settled in her own place. But it's just happening too fast right now. So maybe next Christmas or something like that, I might go up there and visit. It's just going to be like when I was living in Dallas and my mom was still living here at the time. Me and my brother would fly back and forth to visit, and that'll be great because I can do that, and I enjoy flying, and I haven't flown in a long time, and getting to do that, I'm going to be so excited. And when I do, I will definitely film that experience and share that experience with everybody. So, yeah, it's bittersweet. I'm happy for her, but I'm sad that she's leaving. So, but that does not make me change my mind about about my situation and what I want to do. So, anyway, I'm trying to stay positive and telling myself it's gonna work out. And if I was still living with Anna and unhappy, then yeah, I don't want to ever be in that situation again. but it would have nothing to do with Anna. It had a lot to do with me being happy, and we can go ahead and call her Sammy. I would reassure her that it would not have anything to do with you or anybody else. It would have a lot to do with me and my feelings and making a change for the better. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I want, if you're going through this situation, just think positive. I will still see my mom again. And if it comes down to my foster family standing up for me and fighting for me to get me to stay here, then if that's what it takes for me to stay here, then so be it. But I'm gonna, I'm not going anywhere. Nothing is gonna change because I don't want it to right now. So anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video. And I'm sorry to have a video like this, but you would understand. And I'm human. I have emotions. I have feelings just like anyone else. So peace out, everybody.